Here we go again, Islanders. It seems like the only constant thing we have in the cruise news world is change in protocols. The federal government announces they're going to extend this TSA mask mandate for another 2 weeks. Carnival has a positive, protocol change in the fact that it's going to test certain cruisers for free at cruise terminals. But then also Carnival changes protocols and makes an announcement for a longer sailing that cruisers will have to be vaccinated and boosted. We've got all the cruise news. Let's talk about it right now on Island Time. A big happy Wednesday to all you Islanders. Welcome back to the show. Welcome to Island Time. I am your host, Derek, and I'm thankful that you and I get to spend some time in the islands together today talking about cruising. Let's sit back and let's chat because there's a lot going on. I have to thank you first for everyone who watched yesterday's show. If you haven't, please go back and watch it. A lot of you left comments. I tried to respond to every single one of you. I saw them. I responded. I liked or loved your responses. And the fact that you're trying to guess what's going to happen. April the 18th, Carnival's big announcement. We thought it could be tied to the announcement from the federal government that they were going to go away or do away with the travel mask mandate. That's not the case. That travel mask mandate has been now extended for 2 weeks until May 3rd. That's good news. It wasn't extended necessarily a month. It's extended 2 weeks until May the 3rd. But we had some interesting guesses on what this announcement could be from Carnival Cruise Line on April the 18th. Here's mine. I never did share mine. I believe that this announcement later this month will have to do with the Costa Magica. Remember, last June the 23rd, 2021, Carnival announced that it was going to take on a sister ship from their sister company of Costa and take on the Magica, and that the Magica would be rebranded and it would enter into the Carnival fleet. I think that the Magica will be a Sunshine class ship. She's supposed to sail sometime this year, and I think we will hear news from Carnival Cruise Line regarding this ship maybe April 18th. That's what everyone says. Let's see what happens. What do you think about that? Okay, let's get through this right here. We have protocols, and protocols continue to change almost every single day. For sure, weekly. I sit here and we discuss protocols that are changing all the time. And some people still will not book their cruise because protocols are not where they want them to be. I encourage you, find a cruise that you want to go on and find that ship that you love, the ports that you love, the length, and book it. Book that cruise no matter what's going on right now. Don't worry about the protocols right now. Book it, and as we approach your sail date, your cruise, these protocols that are in place now will change. I can promise you that. And they may be to your liking. You may be okay with what's going on, but book that cruise. You need the cruise. Start planning your trip, your itinerary, how you're going to get there, your excursion. Start doing that. It's healthy for you. And if when you get to your sail date, just before you leave, if you don't like the protocols, you can cancel. Most cruise lines will still let you call in and say, hey, I don't like this. This isn't what I want to sign up for. This isn't my idea of a vacation. And you can move it. But book your cruise before they continue to go up. You have price protection if you do that. I want to share with you some protocol changes today. Here's a big one. I'm not going to read this entire letter. I will put it up for you. But cruisers yesterday received this letter. Some of them rather not. Even if they didn't have a vaccinated or unvaccinated child, they still received this letter entitled Shore Excursion and Testing Update for Unvaccinated Guests Sailings Through the End of 2022. And there are a couple of changes here, but we'll read some of this. So unvaccinated kids under shore excursion. Unvaccinated guests age 12 and older cannot go to shore in the ports of call on their own, and guests may only debark if you book a Carnival tour. That's guests ages 12 and above. A lot of families are getting ready to cruise with spring and summertime. If you have a child over the age of 12, you've applied for an exemption, you've been granted the exemption, your child is over the age of 12, you can only get off the ship if you book a Carnival excursion. Okay, we had to do that in March. Unvaccinated children age 11 and under are not required to purchase a Carnival shore excursion and may purchase or participate in self-guided or independent exploration with their vaccinated parents and guardians. So your younger kiddos that are under the age of 11 can cruise if they get their exemption, and when you get to port, you can do whatever you want to do. You can book a Carnival tour, you can book an independent tour, you can get off the ship and just go shop and look around. It's up to you. But here's some of the differences they announced in testing. Unvaccinated guests ages 2 and older must take a pre-cruise PCR test prior to arriving at the terminal, and then an antigen test in the embarkation terminal. We just had to do this in March. On cruises longer than 4 days, guests will receive an antigen test within 24 hours prior to debarkation, which will be administered on board the ship. We went through that. It was at the Comedy Club. We paid $150 for our 6-year-old and our 2-year-old. Because children under the age of 5 are not able to be vaccinated, testing will be provided on a complimentary basis for kids ages 2 through 4. That is a change. I just paid $150 for my 2-year-old to be tested. It is now free. Kids ages 2 to 4 will not be charged the $150 fee that was for Carnival Cruise Line. The testing charge for children ages 5 through 11 has been lowered from $150 to $60, while unvaccinated guests ages 12 and older will continue to be charged $150. So there are some changes there in the cost. That's a huge savings to families. I can promise you, especially when you have more than one child. And it was communicated for all those who are cruising with unvaccinated children coming up in the near future. At the same time that Carnival announced that, Carnival announced this, that they will require guests to be vaccinated and boosted for an upcoming sailing. Listen to this. This is not the first time it's happened, but I want to mention this before I mention what I'm going to talk about next, which is when could testing possibly end, okay? There is a 16-night sailing from Miami to Seattle. What a trip, right? What a trip. It's a fully vaccinated and boosted cruise. It's going to take place on the Carnival Spirit, an 88,000 gross ton ship, a beautiful ship. All guests ages 12 and up must receive their final dose of an approved COVID-19 vaccine at least 14 days of embarkation day, not including embarkation day itself. All guests who are more than 6 months past their final dose will also have to receive the booster shot before you sail. That is a requirement to cruise. 100% you have to have it. If not, you're not going to go on that 16-day sailing. Booster shots are required for this longer cruise, as they have been for others, and not just with Carnival, across the industry. And all guests will be tested at the pier prior to embarkation, in addition to the pre-test that they are doing no sooner than 3 days before their departure. We've seen Carnival do this over time, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again here. When testing starts to come to an end, which I don't know when that's going to be. If you look at Royal Caribbean and the comments made last week, they said maybe summertime. But I can see cruise lines going to the other extreme. So this extreme is a long cruise, and you have to be boosted to cruise. And of course, we see the testing that's going to take place at the port. I can see on the other end of the spectrum, sometime down the road, that cruises that are shorter in length, 3 and 4 day cruises. Maybe you don't have to be tested before you cruise. I don't know the timeline of that, but I can see that the first cruises that we see from the United States will be short cruises, 3 and 4 day, that don't require a test. So if you don't want to be tested, and for real, for some people that holds them back from cruising, it's going to be short cruises, 3 and 4 day cruises, but only time will tell when that happens. How do you think it's going to work out? There's a comments box below for a reason, and that is for you to leave your comment. How do you think that this is all going to work out? I think sometime in 2022, but what does it look like? Let us know in the comment section below. I will do my best to see your response and to answer it as well. Islanders, that's the cruise news for today. There's so much going on that we're keeping our eye on. We will, of course, keep you informed. If you enjoyed the content today, please look right below this box and give us a thumbs up. If you're not an Islander yet, please subscribe. We just passed overnight 7,700 Islanders, and you're going to be the next one by subscribing in that red button below. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon right here on Island Time.